3:50 in the mile indoors this year. 13:17 before that. So it looks like we've got Mario Garcia Romo out there doing some pacing for the guys.
Pace is set for 13:07, which is the world standard pace. That's 63 per lap. That's the time to listen for and watch for. Sayer Salgado and Casey Neville-Bard should be looking to pace 3K through 3K at 7:52.
All right, so the men are off and running right now. The 5,000 meters here at Sound Running Track Fest. Will we see a sub 13 here tonight? That's the question. And who might it be? We've got Mario Garcia Romo there jumping back after the 800, getting some work in. And that's wearing number 4 in the 4th position, Athanas Kioko, the 27:23 man.
You know, no one in this field has the fastest PR is 13:06 from Cooper Teare. So they're setting out at world standard pace of 13:07. But, you know, I think if in the right conditions, I think we could see a sub 13 race. I mean, we've seen race after race these big breakthrough performances for athletes, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see that again tonight in this 5K.
So Kioko, a 13:09 guy also. And we don't see Cooper Teare on, oh, we do. On the very bottom of the screen, we've got Cooper Teare running side by side with Josh Kerr, wearing the shades. And you can see Salgado and Mario Garcia Romo are clicking off 65s at the front. 13:07 is the prescribed pace, and that's 63s. So we'll see if that's what they can get back to here.
First lap was a little quick. They were through 29 through the 200. Second lap is 65. I think there was their effort to kind of even it out. Now we'll see.
It's a little jumpy for these boys out of the gun.
Well, we've got Garcia Romo coming off the 800, so 5K pace probably feels pretty awkward at first.
That's a good point. That's a good point. So he's settling in now.
Yeah.
And he's following the blue lights, which are for the pacer, and the green lights are the pace that the athletes need to be on. And Maggard, Dylan Maggard is the guy behind Athanas Kioko in the yellow singlet. He's not afraid to get to the front and push the pace if necessary. And then Kieran Tuntavate of the Bowerman Track Club representing Thailand behind Dylan Maggard. And famously, Kieran Tuntavate in the very first 10, 3 10s ago, 2 years ago, PR'd in the 5K back-to-back. His first 5K was a PR, and his second 5K was faster than that for 10,000 meters, and he ended up running 27:17.
So Neville-Bard stepped off, which I think was a good idea. He was, I think, kind of slowing down the rest of the pack at that point. And we saw Kioko kind of was about to go past him anyway because they were falling off of the pace that had been set by Salgado.
So I think that was Salgado that stepped off.
Oh,
there.
Salgado that stepped off. Neville-Bard in the lead.
And we've got Kioko out there itching to get after it tonight, trying to stay onto those green lights. So 63s. First 200 was 30 seconds, 29 for some, then 65 for the second lap, 63, and then 63 through 1,400 meters. And they're coming up on 1,600 meters now. And that is about a 4:13 to 4:14. So Kioko comes through in about 4:13, 1,600 meters. And he's got about a 10-meter gap on the field and losing touch slightly with the green lights. But that doesn't matter because 14:45 was perfectly attainable for Josette Andrews in the previous race. So
yeah, you know, the tough thing with this, it's been a little bit all over, a little bit jumpy, a little fast, then a little slow, then kind of at pace. So I think, you know, now a mile in, we got the athletes spread out. Hopefully it will just kind of be smooth running from there, and a little less yo-yoing going on for the rest of the race.
We want to let you know, too, that after this race, for those in stadium, they're going to get treated to a concert by Kyle, Super Duper Kyle. But we're going to send it down to the Citius studio, and we'll have another Super Duper Kyle Merber and Chris Chavez and Christina Henderson taking you through some of the earlier action before we come back for the 10Ks later this evening. But here we get a good picture-in-picture of the front pack. So Athanas Kioko, who we know is not afraid to charge into the abyss and make something happen, as he is doing at the moment. And then we also have Dylan Maggart, who we know is not afraid to lead, which he is doing in the second pack.
Perfect. It's like it was written for them.
So living up to their names, but now Cooper Teare is taking the reins, and all aboard the Red Lightning Express as he moves to the front, and then his teammate Tuntavate goes with him. 63s all around for that, it looks like. Maybe, well, 63 for Kioko up front, and then 64 for that second pack led by Cooper Teare. So they're not pulling back Kioko just yet. He's still making some space for himself as that pack or that gap looks like it's extended to between 25 and 30 meters at the moment.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of firepower in this second pack with Teare, Tuntavate, and Morgan Beadlescomb, it looks like, in third position. And that's Eamon Kemboy, Puma Elite, in that fourth spot, too.
Yeah, Kioko looking just kind of in his rhythm, just knocking off lap after lap.
Kioko coming up here, too, 2,600 meters, 7 laps down. That was a 65 for him, 65.1. And we'll see 65.05, so not necessarily pulling back Kioko yet. Cooper Teare with the 65.05. It's certainly within Cooper Teare's wheelhouse to do so if he wanted to step on the gas a little bit, but he may not feel like that's necessary at the moment to pull back Kioko. And I don't know, this slower pace lets a guy like Josh Kerr in there too.
Well, and it's strung out, so I think for the athletes, for where they are in this time of year, like it looks like 65s are around where their bodies want to be. You know, if the pace was slow for them, they would all be kind of bunched up, but they aren't. There's just a long string of athletes.
Well, there are more milers than normal in this field right now, and I think that's partially due to the changing landscape of championship racing, where we saw about 10 years ago or less than that. I mean, famously in 2016, Matt Centrowitz won the Olympic gold running 350, and ever since then, everybody said, we can't let that happen again. We need to, if I'm a strength runner, then I need to go to my strength and push the pace.
Yeah.
So they've made it faster, and now we see some milers in here like Josh Kerr, who know that they need to improve their strength if they want to run with the best at the top. And Morgan Beadlescomb is also a miler, and Amos Bartlesmeyer and Charles Philibert-Thiboutot as well.
Well, you know, it's often said that speed comes through strength, and it doesn't matter how fast your kick is. You can't use it if you're, you know, too fatigued at the end of the race, or if you can't be with the lead pack. So you might kick the fastest, but if you're nowhere close, it doesn't matter. And so, you know, for all of these athletes, it never hurts to ensure that they have a good strength base, especially when you think about, you know, everything has rounds except for the 10K. So the 5K you have to do one 5K before. The 15 requires 2 15s beforehand. It's 3 total rounds. And so yeah, to your point, that is more and more important. But as we go back to looking at the field, you know, we've got Kioko in the front. His last lap was a 64. He's about 4 seconds ahead of Teare. They're splitting about 65s in that chase pack, but it's still strung out. Not really any differentiation between the distance Kioko has on that chase pack, and the chase pack is still just kind of moving right along.
It's bunched there, and you wonder who here.
It's bunched in the back. The leaders are kind of strung out, and the back of it is like a little shuffling going on, I think, as people are starting to fall back and others are maintaining the pace.
Well, you wonder who here is going to make the move. Because somebody eventually has to make the move to try and bring Kioko back.
Yeah, and now it is. You're right. Now it is bunched. Now these athletes, you know, that last lap for Teare was a 69. We'll see what this one is. I'm guessing it maybe slowed down a little bit.
64 for Kioko up front.
Oh, no, it picked up. Teare was at 64, but I think the athletes are getting within that mile to go range. Now it's 3 laps to go. They're all starting to think about their kick.
Inside 3 laps to go here, and everybody in that second pack has to be thinking, there's a 25-meter gap here up to Kioko. How are we going to bring this down? And you could see it starting to, the sideways triangle forming there on that drone shot, and everybody's trying to gather up the strength to make a move.
Exactly.
And it's been Cooper Teare driving the train for the entirety, pulling up here. And now we see some shifting around. Morgan Beadlescomb has pushed up to that position behind Cooper Teare. And Eamon Kemboy behind him. Ahmad Muhammad is behind him as well. And then it looked Josh Kerr has dropped off of that second pack. So he is not going to be a threat tonight with his speed, but it'll still be interesting to see how he finishes this race. That's Dylan Maggard wearing the Brooks Beast yellow up in that front pack.
And we have Kioko, who ran a 65 on that lap, Cooper Teare with a 63. So it's the first time we've seen sort of a differentiation in this, and you can see it now in the way that gap is closing. I would say at this very moment it's about 10 meters, and Teare is eating up that distance over the back stretch.
The gap has shrunk considerably, and it's almost gone right now as Cooper Teare is clawing back Athanas Kioko, and we'll see him. Is he going to overtake here, or is he going to sit? That's the decision that he's going to make. I think if you're rolling and you have the momentum, you got to go.
Agreed.
And I think that's what's happening here. Kioko looks over and sees, all right, I'm going to try to tuck in here and see if I can roll, but the train's going. And now we're getting into 800 meters remaining. Or sorry, this is the bell.
400
This is the bell.
Yep.
So 62-2 on this, and it is Cooper Teare at the front, Morgan Beadlescomb, Charles Philibert-Thiboutot in third place, and Ben Flanagan there on the outside as Athanas Kioko is being swallowed, but he's staying. He's staying there. He's pulling up. You can see him get back into that 5th position. Cooper Teare's rolling now. Morgan Beadlescomb, we know that he has that kick because he won that BAA 5K road race, but it's Cooper Teare. Cooper Teare is the U.S. champion, defending at 1,500 meters, and he's going to the arms. Morgan Beadlescomb is trying to catch him, but can Cooper Teare hold him off down the stretch? He's pulling close. Can he take this? Does he have the steam? He looks over. Yes. It's Cooper Teare's 13:12 for the Bowerman Track Club. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Cooper Teare, first place for the Nike Bowerman Track Club. Morgan Beadlescomb, second place for Very Nice TC, 13:12.95. Ben Flanagan comes in third for Very Nice TC, 13:13.97. So
impressive for Teare, you know, essentially leading the chase pack from the outset, and then ultimately, you know, biding his time until within a K to go, starting to